Okay, so nag-end tayo dito kanina sa state of necessity. So tapos na tayo sa self-defense. Then, of course, we have number 5, fulfillment of lawful exercise of right or office. So dito class, sa tinatawag din na fulfillment of lawful exercise, halimbawa, you are conducting yung tinatawag natin na warrant of arrest. Tapos ayaw niya mag-surrender. Then, halimbawa, kapag binaril ka niya, then papasok rin dyan sa tinatawag natin na number 5, that is justifying. So, so that is fulfillment of lawful exercise or the right of office. So papasok yan sa justifying circumstance. The police officer is not criminally liable, and also he is not also civilly liable. So kasi nga it is under or ginagampanan niya lang that is reasonable or it is in accordance with law naman ang kanyang trabaho. So that is fulfillment of lawful exercise of the right of office. Number 6 natin, obedience to an order for some lawful purpose. Halimbawa, you are just, kumbaga sinusunod mo lang ang order na nanggaling sa taas. Then, yung order nyo yun nanggaling sa taas is legal naman. So, tapos may nangyari. So, halimbawa, nakapatay ka or kasi nanlaban or uh, ayaw nila makipag-coordinate. So, may nangyari. Then, of course, that is justified. Okay? Kasi nga, pasok yan sa justifying circumstances natin class. Obedience, sorry, to an order for some lawful purpose. That is number 6. Then number 7, we have the battered woman syndrome. BWS or the battered woman syndrome. So ito yung added class under the justifying circumstance. Kapag the woman is living under the battering relationship, halimbawa, uh, nakaka-experience siya ng physical, psychological, sexual, or economic abuse from her partner or sa lalaki. So that is papasok sa battered woman syndrome. So ilang cycle ng violence dapat ang ma-encounter dito class ng babae before siya makapag-claim na really she is experiencing yung battered woman
Isa.
syndrome. Ilan? Okay, very good. That is 3. Okay, that 3 cycle of violence. So matatawag natin class na the woman experiencing a battered woman syndrome. So kapag ganun class, halimbawa napatay niya yung mister niya, tapos she is living in a battering relationship, ibig sabihin, papasok yun sa BAW si Pepsi, no? So sino ngayon na magsasabi na the woman is experiencing yung battered woman syndrome or BWS? Sino magsasabi? Sino magsasabi noon or sino magja-justify or sino yung sino ba? Sino class? Yung police ba or ano? Sino? Sino yung magja-justify or sino magsasabi or magpapatunay that the woman is experiencing a battered woman or she is living in a battering relationship? Sino? Okay, so of course the physician or the doctor. Okay, of course kapag yung medical doctors natin class. Okay, so yan class. Ang papasok yan sa justifying circumstance. Kapag in case nakapatay siya o napatay niya yung mister niya, tapos napatunayan na the woman is living under the battering relationship. So that's the time kapag napatay niya yung mister niya, so she is exempted from criminal liability as well as civil liability. So kaya tinatawag natin na battered woman syndrome. Okay, again, under the 7 justifying circumstances, we have the Sedgwick's FOB. Paki-off mo. Saan na yun? Bakit naka-on ka? Okay, Sedgwick's FOB class, ibig sabihin. So yan, una natin, we have the self-defense. Dapat alam niyo yung umbrella. Then defense of relatives, at BROSAC, defense of stranger, state of necessity or avoidance of greater evil or danger, or avoidance of greater evil or danger. Then fulfillment of lawful exercise of the right of office, obedience to an order for some lawful purpose, and battered woman syndrome. Yun yung mga 7 justifying circumstances natin, class. Kapag present yung kahit isa dyan class. The person or the person class is not criminally liable and of course not civilly liable. So yan yung 7 justifying circumstances considered. Okay, so natapos na tayo class sa justifying. We will proceed now on the exempting circumstances. Again, dito sa exempting circumstances, the person is criminally not liable. But of course, kapag civilly or yung mga danyos or mga damages, kailangan niya rin bayaran or kailangan niya magbayad ng mga damages na na-incurred niya sa tao. So, kaya dito sa exempting class, we have the acronym na IMACO or IMACO class. So yung I, that stands for imbecility or insanity. So as an imbecility or insanity class, of course, that is you are exempted from criminal liability kasi nga there is a problem sa pag-iisip mo. Kapag, but of course, tandaan niyo kapag during the lucid interval, pag sinabi kasi nating lucid interval class, ibig sabihin, during that time, you are in the right state of mind. Nasa tamang pag-iisip ka during that time. Halimbawa, 1 hour or 2 hours. Tapos nagawa mo yung crime. Ibig sabihin, alam mo yung consequence or alam mo yung nature ng crime na nakomit mo. So that is imbecility or insanity. So nakuha niyo? Imbecile or insanity. Kapag lucid interval, of course, he is criminally liable kapag napatunayan sa korte. Then, ang number 2, so kapag yung number 2 and number 3 class, yung minority yan, of course, as amended under Republic Act 9344. Kapag minor, so we already discussed that one, kapag over 15 and under 18 acted with discernment and acted without discernment. So yun yung proper procedure doon, di ba? So kapag over 15 and under 18 tapos acted with discernment, kapag with discernment class, of course, he is subjected with the formal court proceeding. Then kapag so isa trial and hearing siya. Then kapag halimbawa naman over 15 and under 18 acted without discernment, of course, walang mangyayaring trial and hearing class. Kasi nga, acted without discernment. Of course, magkakaroon ng, he will be resulted to diversion and we have the intervention program kapag nagkataon. Okay? So yan, minority. Then of course, number 4, accident without fault of causing it. Of course, may iwasan ba natin ang accident? May iwasan pa natin ang accident class.
Hindi.
Of course, kaya 'di ba, accident is unforeseen event or hindi natin ano yan, maiiwasan kasi nga of course accident without fault of causing it. So no. So then of course, compulsion of irresistible force and number 6, uncontrollable fear. Okay, so halimbawa nakagapos ka tapos no choice ka kasi may nakatutok sa'yo na 3 baril rin. Kung hindi mo babarilin yung isang tao na yon na pinapapatay nila sa'yo, dahil sa sobrang takot mo, uncontrollable fear, napatay mo siya or nabaril mo or naputok mo yung baril kasi nga may nakatutok sa'yo dito. So that is uncontrollable fear. Same as true with irresistible force. So, yan yung exempting circumstances class. You are not criminally liable kapag napatunayan, but you are civilly liable sa mga damages na na-incurred mo. Nakuha ba? So again, under the exempting circumstance, the person is exempted from criminal liability but not with civil liability. Nakuha ba class? Nakuha ninyo? So yan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, next tayo. So of course, we have the mitigating circumstance. Pakibasa muna si Sir Dione. Sir Johnny. Nandiyan ba si Sir Johnny?
Sir,
Okay, sir. Pakibasa mo na yung mitigating circumstances natin.
sige po, sir. Mitigating circumstances. Number 1, incomplete justifying or exempting. Number 2, over 15 and under 18 or over 70 years old. Number 3, praeter intentionem. Number 4, sufficient provocation. Number 5, vindication or grave offense. Number 6, passion or obfuscation. Number 7, voluntary surrender. And 8, physical defect. 9, illness of the offender. 10, similar to the nature. And 11 is plea of guilt or voluntary confession of guilt.
Okay, so under the mitigating circumstances, of course, we have, thank you, we have 11 mitigating circumstances class. Kapag halimbawa, incomplete, justifying, or exempting, kapag halimbawa kulang ang elements class ng self-defense, papasok yan ngayon, hindi siya papasok sa justifying, of course, papasok na yan siya sa mitigating circumstance. Marireduce ang penalty na binigay ng korte. Kaya incomplete, justifying, or exempting, papasok siya ngayon sa mitigating circumstances. Nakuha? So then, pag sinabi natin over 15, another 18, or over 70 years old, of course, mitigating yan kapag old age, kapag minority. So, mitigating over 15, another 18, depende sa korte, di ba? So, silang magdedetermine. While ang praeter intentionem, dito sa number 3, praeter intentionem, the result of the injury is greater from what is intended. So, we already discussed kanina ang praeter intentionem, di ba? Yung gusto mo lang sampalin, tapos nabubuang ang ulo niya, namatay. So, that is praeter intentionem. The result of the injury is greater from what is intended. Then, there is a sufficient provocation on your part. Ikaw yung nagsimula, tapos napatay mo siya, tapos mag-declaim ka ng self-defense, there is a sufficient provocation. So, that is only mitigating class. Hindi yan magiging justifying. Vindication of grave offense. How about passion class or obfuscation? Ano ba yung tinatawag natin class na crime of passion? Ano yung mga tinatawag natin na crime of passion? What are those crime of passion? Okay.
Jealousy, sir.
Okay, so pag sinabi natin crime of passion or obfuscation, ibig sabihin dyan yung mga extreme jealousy, extreme anger, okay, and so on. So yan yung tinatawag natin na passion or obfuscation class. So papasok yan sa mitigating, yung sobrang selos mo or sobrang galit mo. Then we have voluntary surrender. Number 7, papasok yung voluntary surrender, yung voluntary surrendering yourself into the proper authorities. So, papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin na mitigating, mababawasan ang punishment or it will reduce the penalty class or punishment na ibibigay sa iyo. Kasi nga, hindi mo na pinahirapan pa ang mga law enforcement officers natin. Kaya voluntary surrender. Then, we have the physical defect. Kapag there is a physical defect, halimbawa, you are blind, you are mute, deaf mute, and so on. So there is a physical defect, of course, kapag nakamit ka ng crime class. That is, it will fall under the mitigating circumstance. Then, illness of the offender, di ba? Kapag may sakit siya, okay, so may heart failure and so on. Of course, provided na meron siyang medical certificate, of course, illness of the offender is very important. Papasok yan sa mitigating, similar to the nature. And number 11, when you plead guilty or voluntarily confess your guilt, so papasok yan sa mitigating circumstance. Again, under the mitigating circumstance, when you plead guilty or you voluntarily confess your guilt, of course, mababawasan yan, mitigating yan. Kasi nga, of course, hindi mo na, aside sa napabilis ang trabaho, hindi na pinahirapan pa yung mga law enforcement authorities and judicial authorities natin. Okay, papasok yan sa mitigating circumstance. So again, ang purpose or ang maging epekto class ng mitigating circumstance is to reduce or to decrease the penalty provided by the law. So that is mitigating. Okay, dito naman sa aggravating class. Sa aggravating, we have the Moplami type. Moplami type yung ating acronym dyan. Yung mo kasi is motivating power. Yung pla is place of the commission of the crime. Yung me, of course, that is the means and ways. Yung TI na lang, yung TI, that is the time. Okay, the TI is the time. And of course, the number 5, we have yung PE, that is personal circumstances. Okay, i-explain natin one by one. Yung Motlami type natin. Okay, so dito tayo, class. So pag sinabi natin motivating power, halimbawa class, na you kill the person in exchange of a reward, in exchange of money, or in exchange of promise, papasok yan sa tinatawag natin na aggravating. Instead na ganito lang ang punishment mo, itataas ang penalty na ibibigay sa iyo. So, place of the commission of the offense, halimbawa, uninhabited place, wala nakatira dyan, doon mo dinala, doon pinatay, doon ka rape, so that is aggravating yan. Then palace, kapag doon ka gumawa ng krimen sa palace or sa palasyo, kung saan nakatira ang president, kasi of course that is disrespect to the authority of the president. So, aggravating rin yan. Then by means and ways employed, treachery. Kapag sinabi nating treachery class, ibig sabihin nun, there's no, walang time na ipagtanggol ang sarili niya from the attack or from the danger. So treachery yan. So ang evident premeditation, okay, pag sinabi natin evident premeditation, ibig sabihin nun, there is a careful planning ahead of committing a crime. Ibig sabihin, pinagplanuhan ng mabuti bago isagawa ang krimen. Of course, that is evident premeditation. Okay. Then we have the time. Of course, ang time is kapag gabi or nocturnity. So, papasok rin yan sa aggravating class. Then, personal circumstances, yung relationship, of course, kapag halimbawa, yung offender ay na crime of rape kapag within the close blood relation. So, that is aggravating. Kasi nga, of course, there's a personal circumstances. Again, under aggravating circumstances, we have mopla type. So, mopla, yung mo that is motivating power in exchange of the reward, money, or promise, place of the commission kung saan ginawa ang krimen, uninhabited place, palace, means and ways, treachery, evident premeditation, time, nocturnity, and personal relationship. Coach, yung uninhabited place, qualifying circumstance din po ba iyon? Ang sa, class, ang sa uninhabited place, despoblado, what do you mean? Sa murder ba or sa dito, sa aggravating? Sa aggravating ba or sa, sa murder? Yung tinatanong na Kasi magkaiba ang qualifying. Opo, sa murder. Kapag sa murder class, hindi yan siya nakasali doon yung uninhabited place. Ang purpose ng inhabited place class is to increase the penalty. Pero wala yan doon sa tinatawag natin na qualifying circumstances ng murder kasi nakaspecific kasi doon under the Article 248 treachery or abuse of superior strength or yung tinatawag natin na means employed in times of calamity, evident premeditation, cruelty, ignominy, and so on. Yung lang class. Pupunta rin tayo doon sa tinatawag natin na murder. So dito, ito lang yung mga crimes class. Ang epekto kasi nito ng aggravating, itataas niya ang penalty. Ang qualifying naman, i-change niya ang nature ng crime. From homicide, magiging murder. Dito naman, from reclusion temporal, magiging reclusion perpetua. It will increase the penalty provided by the law. Nakuha ba? Nakuha ninyo? Nakuha class? Nakuha? Okay na?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sige. Next tayo. Then, of course, we have the alternative circumstances. In the alternative circumstance, we have the RID. Ang tanda nyo lang dyan, yung RID. So, we have the relationship, intoxication, and degree of instruction and education dito. So, in the relationship class, di ba, kapag ang nag-commit ng crime, kapag yung nag-commit ng crime is, di ba, kapag nanakawan, kapag sa theft na crime, tapos ang nagnakaw is within yung sasag-brosak natin, of course, hindi yan tatanggapin class kapag mag-file ka ng kaso. Tapos you are living in the same roof or sa isang bahay lang. Hindi ka naman pwedeng kasampa ng mama mo ng theft, di ba? Or ng papa mo ng theft. Kasi that is a relationship. Then, pag sinabi naman natin kapag sa mga rape or sa kapag kung gumawa niyan is within your blood or within your relatives, of course, that is aggravating class. Kasi di ba sa alternative, it will be taken into account whether it is aggravating, tataas, and mitigating, bababa. So when it comes to relationship, depende yan. Okay, sa theft, of course, mitigating or minsan nga wala talaga totally. Then kapag sa mga chastity or sa mga rape cases, of course, crimes against person ang rape natin. So that is papasok ngayon sa aggravating. Tataas ang penalty na ibibigay ng korte. On the degree of intoxication, dalawa lang naman ang tinitingnan natin sa degree of intoxication. Kapag you are an habitual drunker and not habitual drunker. Kapag habitual drunker, ibig sabihin sanay ka uminom, not habitual drunker, wala kang kakayahan or wala kang experience sa pag-inom. Kapag you are habitual drunker, tapos nakakommit ka ng crime, ibig sabihin you are in control already. So that is aggravating class. Kapag you are not habitual drunker, ibig sabihin first time mo uminom, tapos in relation to that, nakakommit ka ng crime. So that is mitigating. So that is under the intoxication. Then we have the degree of instruction and education. So kapag degree of instruction and education, kapag higher education or mas mataas ang pinag-aralan mo, tapos ginamit mo yon to took advantage or para mag-take advantage sa iba, or gumawa ka ng bomba or gumawa ka ng ano dyan class, gamitin mo sa pag-commit ng felony ang pinag-aralan mo. Kapag napatunayan na you took advantage of your learnings or yung pinag-aralan or your degree, so that it will be taken into account as an aggravating, tataas. Kapag naman, halimbawa, wala ka pa pinag-aralan at all, tapos nakakumit ka ng crime, of course, fair naman ang batas natin. It will be taken into account as mitigating. But of course, hindi ka mawawalang sala kasi di ba, the law may be harsh, but it is the law. Kahit wala kang pinag-aralan, dapat alam mo rin yung pinaka-basic na to. Okay, so that is under the alternative. So tatlo yan. We have the relationship, intoxication, degree of instruction and education of the offender. So tandaan niyo, under the alternative circumstance, it will be taken into account whether it is mitigating or aggravating. Okay, so dalawa yan. Pwedeng tataas, pwedeng bababa ang penalty na ibibigay sa iyo ng korte. Naka ba?
Yes,
Okay na,
sir.
okay na. Okay, sige. Okay, so we have the juridical conditions of penalty. So pakibasa muna sino si Budget Gerolaga? Si Budget. Sir Victor na lang. Sir Victor.
Yes, sir.
Okay, sir, pakibasa.
Juridical condition of penalty. 3 licito, productive without affecting human integrity, proportionate, commensurate, just desert, personal, no proxy, legal, accordance with law, equal, fair, certain, no one may escapes, correctional reform.
Okay. So, thank you. So, nakalimutan ko pala si Budget Gerolaga, estudyante ko pala to sa UM. Nandito na pala siya. Bakit na late ka? Nung pumasok. Okay, so ayan.
Sir, may sir. May hapon.
Okay. So mabuti nakapasok ka na. Sana nung last week pa. Sige lang, makahapon pa naman yan.
Wala ko pala sir, pwede tayo mo after kasi wala ka down.
Ay, hindi. Marami sila dito na naka-down. Ay, wala pa. Pinapasok ko na po. Sayang naman. So importante nandito ka na. Nasa UM ako sa May 4 and 5 sa UM. May 4.
Birthday na ko may ito sir, basig sinakay regalo niya.
Grabe. Grabe, no? May to ba? Grabe, no? Naka-advance. Sige, tingnan natin.
Yes sir.
Okay, sige.
Wow.
Mabuti ka na dito na si
Yes sir, amping daan sir.
Okay, sige. Continue tayo, class. Patalastas lang. So, again, we have the juridical conditions of penalty. So, triplex, C2. Sinabi niya 3P and C2. So, we have the 3P. Una dyan, we have productive. Yung another P is proportionate or minsan tinatawag natin na commensurate, then personal. Tapos yung letter L, that stands for legal. Yung E, that stands for equal. Tapos C2, ibig sabihin dalawang C, certain and correctional. So, ganito yan. Para mas mabilis. Pag sinabi nating productive of suffering, ibig sabihin, he deserved kung ano yung nakomit na crime, dapat accountable siya, di ba? But of course, ang penalty na ibibigay rin without affecting the human integrity, hindi yung sobra-sobra kasi bawal rin under the Constitution ang inhumane or cruel punishment. So, productive without affecting the human integrity. Pangalawa naman, commensurate or proportionate, just desert theory natin, di ba? The punishment should fit the crime. Kung ano lang yung nakomit mo na crime, dapat hanggang doon lang ang severity ng punishment na ibibigay sa iyo ng state or ng government. Hindi rin pwede yung sobra-sobra, yung minor offense lang or minor offense lang na commit mo tapos bibigyan ka ng death penalty. Hindi pwede yon. Kasi nga, under the juridical conditions of penalty, it must be proportionate or commensurate to the crime committed. Okay, ibig sabihin hanggang doon lang. Dapat proportion. Then personal, ang personal class, ibig sabihin ng penalty is personal, ibig sabihin no proxy. Ano ibig sabihin ng no proxy? Ibig sabihin, no person shall be imprisoned of the crime committed by other person. Ibig sabihin, hindi, kapag nakakommit ka ng crime, hindi naman pwedeng yung mama mo yung makukulong, di ba? Swerte mo naman. Kapag nakakommit ka ng crime, hindi naman pwedeng kapitbahay mo yung makukulong. Kasi nga dapat, under the juridical conditions of penalty, dapat that is personal. No person shall be imprisoned of the crime committed by other person. So that's why it is one of the juridical penalty or juridical conditions of penalty. Then of course, legal. Whatever penalty na ibibigay sa nagkasala class or nakakommit ng crime, that is legal naman. That is in accordance with the law. Sinabi ng infanticide, reclusion perpetua to death or reclusion perpetua. So based on the revised penal code yan. Kaya that is legal in accordance with law. Ang equal naman, of course, fair. Okay? Kahit ano man yung ano mo, estado mo sa buhay, or ethnic, or nationality, and so on. Our penalty is fair. Then certain. In the certain class, dito sa juridical conditions of penalty, no one be escaped from its effect. Ibig sabihin, kapag nagkasala ka, so kailangan mong harapin yan. No one be escaped from its effect. Yan yung certain. Then, ang correctional, ibig sabihin, the purpose of correctional class is to reform an individual. Okay, so ibig sabihin, to make them, to prepare them, okay, so kailangan natin sila yung tinatawag natin na correctional. Kasi ang purpose naman ng penalty class is not for suffering. Okay, ang purpose niyan is para mabago or may tuwid ang daan ng nagkasala. Okay, that's why it is considered as the juridical conditions of penalty. So, una, we have the productive of suffering, proportionate or commensurate, personal, legal, equal, certain, and of course, the correctional. So, yan yung juridical conditions of penalty class. So, we have that triplet. Okay? Nakuha ba? Nasanda ninyo? Okay na? Okay na? Wala nang violent reaction dyan? Okay na ba, class?
Yes,
Nakuha?
sir.
So, ayan, triplet natin. Okay, sige. Next tayo. So, we have the theories of justifying penalty. So, dito naman tayo. Si, ano naman? Si Dane Moico. Moico Dane.
Sir.
Okay, pakibasa mo na, sir, yung theories of justifying.
Rinig po ba, sir?
Yes, sir.
Theories of justifying penalty. Prevention. Suppress the danger. Self-defense. Protect the society. Reformation. Correct and rehabilitate. Exemplarity is served as example. Justice. Act of retributive justice.
Okay. So, thank you. So, we have the theories of justifying penalty. Of course, una dyan, we have prevention. Prevention, di ba? Palagi natin prevention is better than cure, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, as much as possible, habang wala pang nakukumit or wala pang nangyayaring krimen, so isusuppress na natin ang danger or yung violence na paparating. So, prevention, di ba? So, ibig sabihin, most likely, i-eliminate natin yung opportunity, di ba? Opportunity is very important sa crime, di ba? Yung boy natin, motive, opportunity, and instrumentality, that is the triangle of crime. So, prevention is to suppress the danger na paparating. So, that is number one theory of justifying penalty. Second naman is self-defense. Kaya, we explained already that self-defense, that is to protect the society. Kasi nga, according sa ano natin, sinabi ng ating government or state na hindi naman 24/7 kailangan or maprotektahan ng state or ng government ang bawat constituent niya or yung bawat mga ano niya, mga tao niya. So that's why pinapayagan ng self-defense. Then third, we have reformation or to correct or to rehabilitate an offender. Exemplarity naman to serve as an example Okay, halimbawa exemplarity or it will serve as a lesson. Halimbawa ano tayo, may death penalty tayo dito, tapos B tayo or electrocution, di ba? Pag may nasampulan na, ibig sabihin, yung pangyayari na yon, yung situation na yon, it will serve as an example to others na hindi na dapat pamarisan. Kaya tinawag natin yung exemplarity. Then justice, of course, it is an act of retributive justice, of course, di ba? Ano ba yung pinaka-focus natin kumbaga, yung pag-file ng kaso? Of course, justice, di ba? We are seeking for justice. Kasi, of course, dapat merong masunod yung mga time or days na yon. Kasi, di ba, kapag sumobra, kapag 180 days, and so on, so that is justice delayed is justice denied. Okay? So, after natin, class, after natin ng book 1, magpo-proceed tayo sa procedure tayo. Diretso. Ihuli natin ang book 2 kasi ini-edit ko pa, nililabel ko doon or sinusunod ko doon sa may isa bagong TOS, yung August 2024 TOS. Then, practice ko na rin yan every season na pinapahuli ko ang book 2 kasi doon ang pinakamaraming tanong kasi class, yung element. So after natin ng book 1, alam niyo na yung book 1, yung concept and principles. Then pupunta tayo sa procedure, evidence, for testimony, and ang ipanghuli natin ang book 2. Kasi ang book 2 class, kung hindi nyo alam, doon mostly kinukuha ang mga tanong sa board exam. Nasa 35 or 45 questions kukunin nila sa book 2. At maganda ngayon, under the new TOS, mas specific na ang mga crimes na kailangan nyo lang i-study. Halimbawa, murder, homicide, robbery, theft, parang gano'n, naka-specific na class, hindi yung lahat ng nasa revised penal code kailangan yung basahin. Hindi gano'n. Infanticide, parricide, mga gano'n lang ang kailangan yung i-focus. Katulad lang yung ginagawa natin sa book 1, di ba? Present ko sa inyo yung TOS, specific siya. Okay? Kaya hindi ka na malilito or sigurado ka na pagdating sa board exam, may masasagot ka. Kuha ba? Okay, so yan. Okay, so after na officially na i-release ng PRC class ang TOS, ibibigay ko rin yun sa inyo after. Pero of course, I already have my copy. So ngayon, hindi ko pa pwedeng ibigay sa inyo kasi of course, wala pa akong authority. I hope naintindihan ninyo kaya yung ibang mga review center or ibang mga school or mga nagko-contact sila sa akin kasi alam nila dati for how nasa akin ang una yung pero hindi ko pa yan pwedeng ibigay. Okay, nakuha ba? Okay, so kasi gano'n ano yan class. So kaya lang, of course, yung discuss ko sa inyo, nasa tamang tayo, nasa tamang. But of course, kahit baguhin naman ng TOS, kapag i-discuss naman sa inyo or alam mo yung pinaka-basic, wala nang problema doon. Makakasagot ka. Okay, so nakuha ba? Okay, so ito yung classification of penalties natin, class. Based on the gravity, of course, kapag capital, of course, that is death. Ngayon, death penalty is temporarily suspended. So, most likely, class, kapag nabigyan ka ng death penalty, suspended lang class ang ating death penalty, so pwede pa yung may balik. So, kapag death, of course, ang pinakamataas, kapag na-violate mo is RPC, of course, the reclusion perpetua. Kapag na-violate mo naman is special law, of course, ang pinakamataas posible na ibibigay sa na penalty is what we call the life imprisonment. Diba? So, yan yung under the capital. Okay, down to reclusion perpetua kapag RPC, then down to life imprisonment naman kapag special law ang na-violate mo na batas. Okay? Then number 2, we have afflictive. In the afflictive penalty, of course, nandiyan si reclusion perpetua, reclusion temporal, temporary, and perpetual absolute disqualification, temporary special absolute disqualification, prison mayor. Then ang correctional, we already discussed kanina nito actually, yung prison correctional, destierro, arresto mayor, and suspension. Then light naman, arresto minor, and public censure. Then number 5, penalties common to the 3 preceding classes. So we already discussed actually this one kanina. So i-familiarize sila. Balikan nyo mamaya, familiarize yourselves with this para hindi kayo mahirapan. Okay, so dito naman tayo class based on their nature. Kapag una class, meron tayong different na tawag na principal penalties and accessory penalties. Dito sa principal penalties class, nahati yan sa divisible and indivisible penalties. Under the divisible penalty, of course, that is decided or that is divided into 3 periods. Meron tayong tinatawag na minimum, medium, and maximum period. Yan yung tinatawag natin ng divisible class. Ibig sabihin, it is divided into 3 period. We have the minimum, medium, and maximum period. Ang mga indivisible naman class, ibig sabihin, it is not divided or ibig sabihin, no fixed duration. Yung death, yung life imprisonment, and prison correctional, and so on. So, yan yung mga indivisible penalties class. Kung saan, hindi mo alam kung kailan kalalaya. Halimbawa, sa life imprisonment, hindi mo ngayon alam kung kailan kalalaya. While sa divisible naman, alam mo ngayon, halimbawa, binigyan ka ng reclusion perpetua. Ang minimum nun is 20 years of imprisonment. Ang medium is 30 years. Ang maximum is 40 years. So that is what we call the divisible. Alam mo ngayon na ang pinaka-maximum mo or pinaka-maximum ka na makukulong is 40 years. So that is divisible. Divided into 3 periods. Minimum, medium, and maximum period. Okay? So nakuha? Then, of course, ang accessory penalties, it is deemed included in the principal penalties, disqualification of office, or civil interdiction. Ibig sabihin, class, halimbawa, you are a police officer, then you are found guilty sa particular crime. Tapos, you are a police officer, halimbawa sa rape cases. So, tatlo, di ba? You are criminally liable, makukulong ka. You are civilly liable, ibig sabihin magbabayad ka ng mga danyos or mga damages sa crime na na-commit mo. Then, of course, meron rin na madidisqualified ka sa office mo. Okay. Life imprisonment, sir, yung mataas na sentence, sir. Dalawa yan. Kapag sa special law ang na-violate mo, ang pinakamataas na penalty sa special law is life imprisonment. Kapag revised penal code naman ang na-violate mo, class, ang pinakamataas na binibigay na penalty is reclusion perpetua. Reclusion perpetua for revised penal code, life imprisonment naman for special law. Okay na? Nakuha? Nasundan?
Thank you, sir.
Okay, so
Yes,
yun.
Coach.
Okay, so then ang accessory penalties class, ibig sabihin kapag you are found guilty, criminally liable ka, ikukulong ka, civilly magbabayad ka, then administratively, ibig sabihin disqualification of office or civil interdiction. Hindi ka pwedeng, of course, tumakbo o hindi ka pwede kang matanggalan, 'di ba, ng karapatan sa asawa mo, sa mga anak mo. So yung mga civil interdiction or disqualification of office, hindi ka makapagtrabaho and so on. So parang kapag you are ano na yan, kaakibat na yan, class. Okay ba? Yan yung mga consequences na makukuha mo kapag you are criminally liable. Okay. Yan yung mga based on subject matter naman natin. Of course, corporal is death, deprivation of freedom. Pag sinabi natin deprivation of freedom, class, ibig sabihin, kaya nga nagkaroon tayo ng PDL. So, of course, ikukulong ka ngayon. So, of course, we have the reclusion perpetua, reclusion temporal, prison correctional, and arresto mayor. Yan yung tinatawag natin na deprivation of freedom. So, ibig sabihin, your liberty is your freedom is limited. Okay? Then, restriction of freedom, ang restriction of freedom, class, destierro. Destierro, ibig sabihin, within that radius, hindi ka pwedeng pumasok. Mamaya i-explain ko ang destierro. Then, deprivation of right, disqualification and suspension. Kapag pecuniary naman, class, that is fine. Okay? So, fine yung tinatawag natin. So, under Republic Act 9346, of course, that is the act prohibiting the imposition of the death penalty in the Philippines. So, persons convicted of offenses punished with reclusion perpetua or those sentenced will be reduced to reclusion perpetua by the reason of this act shall not be eligible for parole under Act number 4103 or also known as a determinate sentence law. Mali pala ako doon pag-type dito, class. Persons convicted of offenses punishable with death, of course, or the sentence will be reduced to reclusion perpetua. Automatic na yan, okay? So, but of course, they are not eligible to apply for parole under the indeterminate sentence law. Okay? So, yun, class, under the 9346. Kasi nga, pinoprohibit ngayon ang pang-impose ng death penalty in the Philippines. Okay, ito yung mga fines natin, class. Afflictive, over 6,000. Correctional, 2,000 to 6,000. Life penalty, less than 2,000. But of course, ngayon, medyo malaki na. Pagdating sa board exam, hindi naman sila nagtatanong masyado sa fines. Okay? Kasi marami pang possible na tanong, di ba? So ngayong August siguro or after February 2025 na mag-exam, abangan ninyo or mas maganda or mas madali na ang examination ninyo. Kasi naka-specific na doon. Okay? So we have the nature of destiero. So ang destiero class, it is the special perpetual yung SPI or death under circumstantial or under death under exceptional circumstances. Ano ba, napatay mo yung mister mo o yung misis mo na-actuan mo having sexual intercourse. Yan yung tinatawag na ibibigay sa yung destiero na punishment. In case of failure to give bond for good behavior, so ibibigay rin ang destiero. So ang destiero, of course, it is a penalty given for concubine in the case of concubinage. Then number 4, in cases where after reducing the penalty by 1 degree lower, then the destiero is the proper penalty provided by the law. So mamaya explain natin class what is destiero. Wait lang, kunin ko muna. Unahin natin ang destiero. Okay. So dito pala yung tinatawag natin na destiero. Bakit ayaw? Balikan lang natin after. Okay, so again, we have the destiero na tinatawag natin class. So tandaan niyo ang destiero that is under Article 87 na tinatawag natin. Any person na sentence sa destiero shall not be allowed or shall not be permitted to enter yung tinatawag natin na 25-kilometer radius. Okay, wait lang. Okay, again, under the destiero, any person sentenced to destiero shall not be permitted to enter the place or places designated in the sentence or within the radius therein specified, which shall not be more than 250 kilometer and not less than 25 kilometers from the place designated or yung lugar na itinalaga ng korte. So that is bawat. Okay, so that is under the destiero. Then, ang destiero class, it is considered as the principal, correctional, and divisible penalties. And of course, yung may jurisdiction over crimes punishable with destiero class, papasok yan ngayon sa tinatawag natin na MTC or the Municipal Trial Court. So, entering the prohibited area, pag pinasok mo class, yung area na nakatalaga or sinabi ng korte class, that is another crime na naman ang magiging mo. So, that is evasion of service of sentence. So again, ang destiero, you are not allowed to enter to the place designated by the court 250 and not less than 25-kilometer radius from the place designated. Okay? So yan yung tinatawag natin class na destiero. Nakuha ba? Nakuha class? Okay, doon tayo muna
Yes, sir.
Ano lang, sir.
Okay, balikan lang natin mamaya yan. Okay, so dito tayo.
Sir, may tanong, sir.
Yes. Sino yun? Joseph, yes, Joseph.
Yung anak mo ba, sir, minor, sir? Tapos nakita mo yung boyfriend niya nakipagtalik, tapos napatay mo yung anak, yung boyfriend niya. Distero din, sir, no?
Yes, sir. Papasok rin yun sa that is, destiero lang ibibigay. Pwede mong patayin yan, class, kapag nakita mo yung minor na anak mo. So, that is, papasok yan sa death under exceptional circumstances. Hindi lang actually doon sa sa Mrs. and Mr. Kapag minor dapat alam mo na minor. So pwede mo patayin na naaktuhan mo. So yon, destiero rin ang ibibigay na penalty sa iyo. Okay? Nakuha? You are not ang destiero actually class, parang hindi yan siya penalty eh. Parang ang purpose niyan is ma-cool down lang ang pangyayari. So that's why binigay lang yung destiero. So para medyo kasi masyadong masyadong hot ang panahon. So that's why gano'n. If hindi na minor anak, of course hindi na papasok doon class. Hindi na destiero kapag napatay mo yung niya, yung kapartner niya or hindi, yung kapartner, yung boyfriend niya or tapos or ibang tao na nagsasamantala doon sa kanya. So, hindi na yan papasok. Proper case na yon. Pwedeng homicide or murder kung ano yung magiging proper case. Pero dapat again dapat make sure kapag napatay mo yun kapag minor, so that is, destierro lang ang ibibigay sa iyo na penalty. Nakuha ba? Okay na? Okay na?
Okay, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, dito tayo class sa preventive imprisonment. Of course, I know na you are familiar with preventive imprisonment. Ang preventive imprisonment class, ibig sabihin nun, it is a period of detention undergone by an accused for the crime which his charge is non-bailable. Even if bailable, he is unable to post the requisite bail or deducted from the term of imprisonment. Ganito yan. Under the preventive imprisonment ngayon, habang wala pang verdict or wala pang judgment sa kanyang kaso, so nagsa-start na siya nag-serve ng sentence. Anong mangyayari doon, sir? Kapag in case na guilty siya, okay, ibig sabihin nun, i-deduct ngayon or i-minus ngayon class yung mga days or mga months na na-serve niya. So that is what we call preventive imprisonment na tinatawag natin. It will be deducted, okay, sa sentence na if ever maging convicted siya sa crime. Okay? So that's why ang tawag natin doon is preventive imprisonment. Okay? The number or the days na pinamalagi niya doon sa loob ng kulungan, ima-minus yun ngayon class at tinatawag natin class na na kanyang original sentence imposed by the court. Then under the civil interdiction, so we have the different civil interdiction class. Ito yung kaakibat natin. Okay, halimbawa nakulong ka class, you are guilty of a particular crime. Ito yung civil interdiction. The rights of parental authority or guardianship, ibig sabihin mawawala yung right mo class towards your anak or yung asawa mo. So yung tinatawag natin na class. Okay? So rights of the parental authority of guardianship. Then marital authority. Of course, mawawalan ka ng mawawalan ka ng karapatan sa misis mo or sa mister mo. Then of course, we have yung 3 naman or yung number 3, the rights to manage your property and the right to dispose such property. Ibig sabihin, hindi mo na pwedeng i-manage pa kung ano yung mga ari-arian na natira sa iyo or bago ka nakulong. Tapos, hindi mo rin pwedeng ibenta yan agad-agad. Kasi nga, you are under the civil interdiction. Okay? So, ibig sabihin yung mga civil liability or yan yung pinagbabawal ng korte. Okay? Ibig sabihin, nawalan ka na ng karapatan over yung parental authority or guardianship, marital authority, and the right to manage your property or the right to dispose such property. Okay, dito tayo class. So we have the 2 kinds of complex crime na tinatawag natin. So dito class, when a single act constitutes 2 or more grave or less grave felonies, tinatawag natin yan na compound crime or delito compuesto. Sinabi niya, when a single act constitutes 2 or more grave or less grave felonies, halimbawa, pumunta ka ngayon sa isang lugar, namaril ka doon, di ba? Yung pagmamaril mo doon, may namatay, may nasugatan, malukha. So that is what we call the compound crime or delito compuesto. With a single act, nung namaril ka, okay, binaril mo isang tao, tapos yung bala pumunta sa kanya, namatay siya yung una, okay, na natamaan. Tapos nung lumusot yung bala, taplis lang dito, hindi namatay. Parang nagkaroon ka ng frustrated homicide. Ang tawag natin doon is compound crime or delito compuesto. Again, when a single act constitutes 2 or more grave or less grave felonies. Hindi ibig sabihin na kailangan mamatay lahat ha. So, yung sinabi ko, binaril mo siya, tapos natamaan, namatay, tapos yung bala lumusot doon sa kabila, yung isa. Tapos yun, nadaplisan, hindi namatay, nag-survive siya. So that is compound crime or delito compuesto. Nakuha ba ninyo? Nakuha class? Nakuha? Reckless imprudence resulting to multiple homicide. Yes, pwede rin. Okay, nakuha ba? Okay, number 2 tayo. When an offense is a necessary means to committing another. Ang tawag natin dyan is complex crime proper or tinatawag rin natin minsan na delito complejo. Okay, so sabi niya, when an offense is a necessary means of committing the other, tinatawag natin yan class na complex crime proper or delito complejo. Ano ibig sabihin ng class? Magbigay kayo ng example ng complex crime proper or delito complejo. Ibig sabihin class, mangyayari yung isa muna Subsequently, mangyayari yun yung pangalawa. When an offense is a necessary means to committing another.
Estafa through falsification of documents, sir.
Okay, very good. So, estafa with falsification of documents. Of course, di ba? Mangyayari muna, of course, ang estafa, there is a fraud. And then, panloloko mo, of course, meron din later on or subsequently, mangyayari yung tinatawag na rin na falsification of documents. So, yun, yung mga example ng complex crime proper. Robbery with rape or robbery. Okay? So, robbery with rape, ibig sabihin on the occasion of robbery, kasi nga, nagnakaw ka, tapos may nakatulog doon na babae, or nakatulog doon na may-ari, na-rape mo siya. So that is also complex crime proper. When a offense is a necessary means of committing another, so that is complex crime proper or delito complejo. Nakuha ba? Of course, marami pang crimes class na meron dyan. So, dapat alam nyo So, ulitin natin. Pag sinabi natin rape to forcible abduction. Okay, pwede. Okay, so as long as on the occasion or mauna muna when the offense is a necessary means, ibig sabihin mangyari muna or connected yan sa nauna of committing another crime or another offense. Again, we have the two kinds of complex crimes. We have the complex crime proper or delito complejo, and we have the compound crime or delito compuesto. Hindi daw kompleto. Okay. Kung delito compuesto, hindi kompleto. Tama naman. Okay, again, kapag compound crime or delito compuesto, when a single act constitutes two or more grave or less grave felonies, we already discussed, then when an offense is a necessary means of committing another, of course, that is what we call complex crime proper or delito complejo. Okay. So, ayan, wait lang class, nawala ako. May ano lang. Okay, so ayan, nandito pa ako. So ano ba 'yon? Coach, ang compound crime may double homicide po pa. Double homicide. What do you mean by double homicide? Ano siguro, ano 'yon? Two counts of homicide or ganon. Meron. Okay, kapag okay, yung double homicide, hindi kasi natin pwedeng sabihin ang term na double homicide. Pwedeng sabihin natin two counts, okay, three counts, and gano'n. Kung ilan yung namatay. Okay, so ganun class. Pero nasa korte pa rin yan. But of course, kailangan natin yan i-allege ngayon sa complaint or information. Okay, walang term na multiple homicide Okay, ano lang, two counts, three counts, or four counts of homicide and murder. Depende yan kung ilan yung on the occasion of homicide. So ilang counts or ilan sila namatay. So ayan, ulitin natin, we have the two kinds of complex crimes. When a single act constitutes two or more grave or less grave felonies, that is compound crime or delito compuesto. Then when an offense is a necessary means of committing the other, that is complex crime proper or delito complejo. Okay, nakuha? So yan. Okay, next tayo. Next na yun. Yung for sure natin. Okay, so ayan, we have the dito pass. Very important. We already discussed this one. Yung subsidiary penalty, of course, you are familiar with this already. Ang subsidiary penalty class, kapag yung tao na yon is cannot able to post or cannot able to pay yung mga kailangan natin nga, yung fines class na tinatawag natin. Halimbawa, kasi kas dito sa subsidiary penalty is fine lang ang kanyang penalty. Kahit fine yun, hindi niya pa rin mabayaran. So, ano mangyayari sa kanya? So, ibig sabihin, i-take note or ano natin yan, i-multiply or yung tinatawag natin na i-compute natin yan kung ano yung highest minimum wage rating prevailing in the Philippines. Yun yung tinatawag natin na magiging kanyang penalty class. Okay? So, kung ilang days. Ilan ba yung ano natin? Magkano ba yung recent or yung highest minimum wage rate prevailing dito sa Pilipinas sa ngayon, class? Yung per day. Magkano yung per day? Magkano ang per day, class, ngayon sa Pilipinas kapag ano tayo per day kapag nagtatrabaho? Kasi hindi na ako nagtatrabaho eh. Hindi ko na alam kung magkano ba. 610? Grabe, 500 plus. Nakadepende siguro sa ano sa tinatawag natin na nakadepende siguro sa ano no sa ano yon sa may sa city or municipality kung saan ka nagtatrabaho. So yon yung basehan kasi doon. Depende sa area, tama si Janice Joseph. Nakadepende yan sa area na tinatawag natin. So again, wait lang. So again, pag sinabi nating subsidiary penalty, it is imposed only on non-payment of fine kasi nga fine lang yung penalty niya tapos hindi niya pa nabayaran. So ang mangyayari doon, kung ano yung gaano kalaki yung fines na binigay sa kanya or na-impose sa kanya ng korte. So iano 'yon. I-compute 'yon kung magkano yung highest equivalent amount or yung tinatawag natin na highest minimum wage rating prevailing sa Philippines at the time of the rendition of the judgment or on the conviction of the trial. So halimbawa, yung fine na binigay sa kanya is 20,000 divided by 500 pesos per day. So kung ano yung lalabas doon, ilang days niya isi-serve yon sa loob ng kulungan. Yan yung tinatawag natin na subsidiary penalty. Nakuha ninyo? Nakuha, class? Nakuha ba? Nasundan?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, pag sinabi nating subsidiary penalty, binibigay yan kapag ang korte nag-impose sa kanya ng fine as kanyang penalty as part of this penalty or yung penalty niya is fine. So again, pag sinabi na Robin, yes, may question ka?
Tama ba sir na pag halimbawa yung isang accused, sabihin natin sir, yung yung natulon siya, yung hindi siya makabayad
Oo.
or kasi meron siyang civil liabilities, tama ba sir? So
Oo,
ang fine, ang penalty sa kanya is makukulong siya
Oo.
based on tawag dito, yun nga yung sa minimum wage sir, katumbas isang araw, yun yung katumbas ng ng minimum wage din na sir, sahod. Tama ba sir?
Yes. Pero ganito dito, pag sinabi kasi nating subsidiary penalty or subsidiary punishment, ibig sabihin nun, ang penalty lang na ibinigay sa kanya ng korte is fine. Ibig sabihin, magbabayad lang siya ng fine. Ibig sabihin, okay na. So, wala na. Pero ang nagkataon kasi dito sa subsidiary penalty, ibibigay lang yan kapag yung tao na yon na binigyan ng conviction or binigyan ng penalty ng korte, walang kakayahan magbayad ng fine as a penalty sa kanya ng korte. So ngayon, no choice siya. So kailangan niya i-serve yon doon sa kulungan. Okay, i-serve niya ngayon. So paano niya i-serve? Rate ng per day or yung tinatawag natin na amount that is equivalent yung highest minimum wage rate prevailing sa Philippines at that time na binigyan siya ngayon ng sentence or judgment ng korte. So, yon yung tinatawag natin na subsidiary penalty or punishment. Nakuha ba ninyo? Nakuha ba? Ang sa subsidiary class, totally talaga ang binigay sa kanya na penalty ng korte is fine lang. Pero again, wala siyang kakayahan na bayaran yung fine, so no choice siya. Kailangan niya i-serve yon sa kulungan. Kung magkano yung highest minimum wage rating prevailing in the Philippines at the time na binigyan siya ng penalty ng korte, so ganong days rin ang kanyang ganyan, yun yung days rin, class Ngayon, ang isi-serve niya sa loob ng kulungan. Nakuha ba? Nasundan ninyo? Baka,
Gets po.
okay na?
Sir.
Okay. Okay, so ulitin natin para
Sir.
mas maliwanagan kayo. So again, in the subsidiary penalty, ano yun? May question ka? Sino yun?
Sir. Ano ba yun,
Yes.
sir? Tawag dito parang, kumbaga ang parang penalty na lang niya yung dito, exempting, sir, parang ano nga, sir, di ba? Yung sa exempting circumstance siya, sir, no?
Ay,
Na
hindi, hindi.
wala
Ang
siyang, iba yun, sir.
Hindi. Iba yun.
Parang kasi, sir, di ba, civil liability lang meron sa exempting, di ba, sir?
Ay, hindi. Wala talaga, class. Ano lang, ang subsidiary penalty, ano lang yan? Yan talaga, ang binigay lang na penalty sa kanya is fine. Siguro, minor offense lang ang nakomit niya. Kaya ganon. Kaya fine lang
Okay.
ang isubali.
Okay, sir.
Minor lang. Walang ano dito, walang criminal, walang ano. Ano lang yon, ang penalty lang na binigay sa kanya is fine. Kailangan niya lang magbayad ng mga damages. May question pa kayo? Okay, so don't po ay no problem. So again, ulitin natin. So bakit may ano? Paki-off muna class ng ano
Sir.
ninyo ng ano ninyo. Yes, may question. Sige, okay. Ulitin ko pag sinabi nating subsidiary penalty or subsidiary punishment, ang binigay talaga diyan na penalty ng korte is fine only. So ang fine na yan na binigay ng korte sa kanya, hindi pa siya makabayad. Okay, hindi pa siya makabayad or wala siyang kakayahan na bayaran yung fine na yan. So no choice siya. Kailangan niya i-serve niya ngayon sa loob ng kulungan. So paano natin malalaman kung ilang days ba ang kailangan niya i-serve sa loob ng kulungan? Magbe-based yon sa per day or yung rating or yung highest minimum wage rate prevailing in the Philippines at the time of the rendition of judgment. So halimbawa, 500 pesos, tapos 20,000 ang fine na dapat niyang bayaran, i-divide yon. Kung ilang days ang magiging resulta, yun yung days na isi-serve niya ngayon sa kulungan. Kasi nga, wala siyang kakayahan to pay the damages or to pay yung fine na binigay as part of the penalty na binigay ng korte. Yan yung tinatawag natin na subsidiary penalty or subsidiary punishment. Okay na ba? Wala nang baka may konti kayo na iniisip baka ano natin. Highest. Ayan
Yes, sir, okay.
Highest na minimum wage.
Wala
Ibig
na,
sabihin
sir.
yung highest siya. Highest class yung pinakamataas. But of course, ang highest minimum wage, nakadepende yan. Iba-iba kasi ang minimum wage or yung wage na or yung binabayad, 'di ba? Every employee sa city, hindi naman magkaparehas. Merong per day, merong 300. Yung iba, ang sahod niya per day 500, may iba 600, 700. So yung 700, yung pinakamataas, yun yung susundin under the basis of the computation of subsidiary penalty. Okay, nakuha na? Okay, so dapat ano na yun dito. Okay lang yun magtanong kayo class para pagdating sa board exam, clear na kayo. May yung mga doubts ninyo, maki-clear na yon. Okay, so yan yung tinatawag natin na subsidiary penalty. Okay. Pwede ba sir pambayad yung mga ari-arian ng accused para mabayaran ng fine? Pwede naman kapag may ari-arian siya. Pero kapag sa subsidiary penalty kasi, pinapalagay dito or binibigay lang to sa mga wala talaga kakayahan. Wala siyang property, wala siyang cash, wala siyang mga halimbawa wala siyang pamilya na pwedeng hiraman and so on. So wala talaga siyang kakayahan at all na bayaran. So wala siyang cash, wala siyang property na magbabayad doon. Of course, class, that's the time, wala na siyang choice. So, pinapayagan siya ngayon ng korte na instead na magbabayad ka ng fine as a penalty, so, isi-serve mo na lang ngayon sa loob ng kulungan. Nakuha ba? Okay, so hindi ka naman papayagan class na i-serve mo yung fine sa korte or instead na magbabayad ka, ikukulong mo na lang. Kasi nga, trip mo lang. Hindi pwede. Malalaman niya ng korte kung may kakayahan ka o wala. Kung may ari-arian ka, yun yung ibabayad mo. Kung meron kang pera, of course, yun yung ibabayad mo. Kapag sa subsidiary penalty, binibigay ito class sa mga wala talagang kakayahan at all. Okay? Okay na ba? May tanong pa? Wala? Meron? Wala?
Retain, sir. Okay na po.
Okay, sige. Okay, thank you. So, proceed tayo sa next. Okay, so of course, we already discussed this one kanina, yung degrees, yung stages of execution, consummated, frustrated, and attempted. O, di ba? Then of course, we already discussed principal, accomplice, and accessory. Then yung three equal portion of penalty, yung minimum, medium, and maximum. Then ang divisible penalty class, ibig sabihin pwedeng ma-divide yan sa maximum, medium, and indivisible naman, ibig sabihin yan class, hindi ma-divide. Okay, halimbawa ng death, life imprisonment, and destierro. So, dito tayo sa malapit na lang to. Hold on. Anong oras na ba? Ay, okay, mag 4:30. So, ang condonation class, it is a pardon or pagpapatawad yan by the victim to the offender. Ang novation naman class, it is connected sa debt or yung sa utang. It is the substitution of a new for an old debt. So, the old debt is extinguished by new one contracted. Okay, halimbawa class, hindi ka pa nakabayad ng utang. Okay, tapos, pero hindi naman ito lalabas sa board exam. In-insert ko lang. Tapos, halimbawa, may utang pa siya na dati. So, parang na-extinguish yun kapag pinautang mo naman ulit. Okay, novation ang tawag natin dyan. The old debt is extinguished by new one is contracted. Okay, so yan. Pero of course, in-insert ko lang class, hindi naman yan lalabas sa board exam. Then of course, we have the total extinction of criminal liability class. Totally, wala ka ng, totally extinguished na class. Ibig sabihin, totally free ka na kasi nga that is total extinction of criminal liability. Kapag namatay ang convict, of course, sino pa ba yung ikukulong mo? Wala na. Siyempre, namatay na nga, di ba? Death of convict. Ang amnesty, of course, di ba? Ang amnesty binibigayan natin sa, wait, may condonation din pala sa penalty. Akala ko SSS. Yes, sir. May SSS rin, no? Makaka-relate talaga yung mga nasa work, mga working natin dito eh. So, ayan. Death of convict class, of course, totally may extinction or wala na ang criminal liability and class. Okay, so next, pag sinabi nating amnesty, of course, kapag totally class, kapag binigyan ka ng amnesty ng president, totally you are exempted na sa criminal liability. Then service of sentence, kapag you already serve, alam mo, binigyan ka ng reclusion perpetua, tapos 40 years na serve mo na, so you are totally free na yan. Absolute pardon, binigyan ka ng pardon ng president. Okay, totally, wala ka ng, hindi ka ng criminally liable. Prescription of crime or prescription of penalty, explain natin yan class sa evidence and procedure rin as well. Then marriage of appointed woman class on the case of rape, seduction, abduction. So kapag pinakasalan ka or pinakasalan yon, so that is totally extinguished or mawawala na yung criminal liability mo. The SAPMA. Then we have the partial extinction. Ibig sabihin, you are not totally free. Ibig sabihin, merong mga limitations pa. Probation. Kailangan mo talaga kailangan mo pa mag-serve or kailangan mo pa mag-appear sa probation officer and so on. Parole. 'Di ba? Reprieve, commutation of sentence, and conditional pardon. I-explain natin yan sila class, lahat-lahat sa correction para mas maintindihan ninyo. Okay, or i-insert natin yon. So, madali lang naman yan. Okay, so dito tayo class sa civil liability kasi ito yung pinaka-importante sa book 1 eh. Pag sinabi natin civil liability, tandaan nyo class, when a person is criminally liable, automatic civilly liable. Ibig sabihin, ikukulong siya, ibig sabihin magbabayad rin siya ng mga danyos. Dalawa kasi ang classes ng civil liability natin class. So we have the social injury, kung ano yung injury na na-cause mo sa community or sa society, and personal injury sa tao na yun mismo. Okay? So hindi lang kasi kapag may pinatay ka or may nagawan ka ng krimen, hindi lang yung tao na yun ang naagrabyado mo. Yung family niya, yung community as well. Kaya dalawa yung social and personal injury. So ito lang naman ang included in civil liability, tatlo na padaliin ko lang, i-simplify ko lang para mas makuha ninyo. So we have the indemnification. Kapag indemnification class, ang civil liability mo, you have to pay the damages. Kung magkano yung danyos, 20,000, 50,000, 1 million, aabot yan. So indemnification ang tawag nila dyan. Payment of the damages. Ang restitution naman class is you have to return the things or yung cellphone, yung laptop na ninakaw mo, na kinuha mo. So kailangan mo bayaran yan or kailangan mo ibalik yan kasi nga restitution. You'll return it. Okay? Restitution yan. Then pag sinabi naman nating reparation, you have to repair or to restore the damages. Halimbawa, nasira mo yung pader. Kailangan mong trabahuin yan. Kailangan mong i-repair yan. Okay? So, i-restore mo yan. So, halimbawa, nasira mo yung laptop na ninakaw mo, kailangan mong ayusin yan. Okay? So, yan yung tinatawag natin, class, na reparation. You have to repair it. Kapag nasira mo yun, or nasira na talaga totally, of course, kailangan mo bayaran. That is indemnification ang tawag natin doon. Nakuha ba? Again, ang indemnification, you must pay the damages. Ang restitution naman, you return kung ano yung nasira, na kinuha mo. Okay, ninakaw mo, ano yung nawala sa kanya, you have to return it. Reparation naman, you have to repair or to restore yung na-destroy mo or na-destruct mo na bagay. So that is the included in civil liability class. Okay, so of course, we already discussed the destiero. So again, ang destiero, okay, yan yung tinatawag natin class na kapag pumasok ka sa within 25 kilometer radius or not more than 250 radius class, that is not allowed under the law. So dapat alam nyo kung ano yung destiero natin. So that is not allowed under the law. So kasi nga kapag you violate na yung nakatalaga dyan, you will be convicted class sa crime na evasion of the service of sentence. Okay, so yun. Doon lang mag-end ang ating book 1. Then yung mga iba na penalty na mga halimbawa na hindi naman nakalagay doon sa TOS natin na bago, we will insert that as we go on with our different subjects sa criminal law natin, class. So we already discussed the characteristic of criminal law, the stages of execution, persons criminally liable, how criminal liability is incurred, and so on. Marami pa, di ba? Marami pang discussion doon na discuss natin. Then, sumobra pa tayo. Marami pa tayong na-insert doon. Kaya, lahat ng book 1 doon na pinaka-basic, alam na ninyo or ready na kayo to take the course. Yan. Hindi ba wala, ano tayo? Bukas tayo, 8:30 a.m. bukas. Ang subject natin bukas is on the criminal procedure type. Criminal procedure, ihuli natin ang book to class ha. So, abangan nyo lang mamaya yung yung ating recorded lectures natin. So, ayan. Okay, so rest muna kayo. Rest muna kayo ngayon. Then after mamayang gabi, balikan nyo na naman, isulat ninyo or ninyo, ang mga ating recorded lectures. Okay, thank you everyone for joining the class today. God bless and stay safe everyone. Guys, na-end ko na ba ang recording? Hindi pa, no?